Be great because I moved the microphone the other day, but here we go. I thought this was a nice little shot to start off with. Doesn't really explain what it is. As per usual in my lazy YouTubey self, this will be on Twitch and then uploaded to YouTube whenever I finish rambling to myself or finish working. Figured I've got a bit of dev work to do, nobody's about, and I fancied having a bit of a ramble to myself. A couple of my friends have had me rambling on random odd subjects of late. I decided I sounded like a bit of a crazy person, and I have not done one of these for a while, or really explained why I've vanished off YouTube too much, or what I've been up to, unless you really follow me on Instagram or anything else, which I don't expect you probably will. But, here we are. Slightly odd title, Game Deving and Existential Dread. And get the words out. Existential Dread. I probably spelt it wrong as well. It would not surprise me in the least. But off we go. I'm going to do a bit of work today on my my long production personal project game I'm calling Gearheads. This is started out like a tech demo. It's now turned into something a lot bigger than a tech demo. Doesn't look like anything amazing here. It's a car racing game. It eventually is going to be a multiplayer online car racing game. And I'm just working on the damage system on one of the cars. So a lot of what you see on the screen might not make much sense. I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to ramble on about what I wanted to ramble on about. As I said, a lot of the stuff I've spoken to my friends about in the last few days has been a bit on the strange side. Let's see. Where are we working? I want to work in here. So you need to sort of get out of the way a little bit. And we'll pull that over there. They will need to be moved. Yeah, my friend's got me talking about all sorts of weird subjects recently. But off of that, I've also come up with a few of my own bits and bobs recently. Now, a little bit sort of, I suppose, politicsy, I guess. Update. Yeah, a little bit politicsy. Health, that'll do. Yeah, because part of the reason why I've got this title is sort of an odd one. And you might even find it a bit on the weird side, to be entirely honest. Because I sort of do. Next hit points. No, I want to set you there like that. Essentially, we got onto politics a few times over the last few days, me and my friends, and people at work actually. And I'm talking all sorts of politics. I'm not talking direct politics in England, like the whole Brexit thing. It was partly that, but we also spoke about like gender politics and sort of race politics and racism and freedom of speech and all that kind of thing. And me even mentioning freedom of speech has probably sort of started a few people that listen to this going, "Oh, you Derp's a Nazi. He's right wing. He's going to vote for UKIP and things." Now, I'm not going to go into my own personal views on things too much, but that's where this existential dread thing comes from. Now, we as a society at the moment, is something that worries me, is a lot of the time people batter on about freedom of speech. Everybody should have freedom of speech. We should have freedom of speech over this. You should be able to say what you like. Sort of agree with that to an extent. Again, I'm not going to go into my own personal views, because I have existential dread over it. I'm trying to explain why I have existential dread over it. It's not satisfactory, honey. It should have updated, and it should say Unreal Engine. It's probably not, because, well, Twitch sucks. Where was I? Yeah, so we were talking about all sorts of weird political topics, which is not something I tend to try and pick up on, especially on YouTube and stuff. But we got onto it anyway, and I sort of shared partially my views, and kind of reinforced some stuff I'm worried about. And for me, my existential dread, yeah, I know, boo politics, sorry honey. For anybody on YouTube, honey's just dipped into the chat on Twitch, probably because I very rarely stream. As I said, we got into stuff that sort of started to worry me a little bit, and it is to do with sort of freedom of speech and politics and all sorts of horrible things. But the way I see things going these days is there's a hell of a lot of negativity come from people. There's a hell of a lot of negativity comes from what I call like the ignorant general public. Now, I'm not saying everybody's stupid, but on the whole, I work in public services, unfortunately, and on the whole, there's a lot of willful ignorance. People like to avoid things. They don't want to know how stuff works. They prefer to just be angry at it, regardless of what the reason behind something not working or something displeasing them. They'd rather just be angry than figuring out what it is they're actually supposed to be angry at. I'm sure anybody who's ever worked in any kind of store or any kind of public facing things probably come across this, somebody raging at you specifically and very personally quite often, for something which usually has nothing to do with you whatsoever, you have no control of, but simply because you work for these people, it's your fault and you're the one that's supposed to sort it out and appease them, and essentially you just end up being a buffer to stop the people who are in charge and actually make these decisions having to deal with this person who is, quite rightly most of the time, really upset about something. And that really sucks usually, but it kind of extends into society on a whole, and it's something that really bugs me, like on a personal level, because obviously I have to deal with it on a personal level given my job role. And I'm not going to tell you who I work for. Honey probably knows who I work for. Many people who know me quite well know who I work for. I'm not going to bring it up, mainly because if I brought it up and went into the details behind why I don't want to say who I work for and a few things I'm not happy about, I'd probably get fired. And that kind of leads me into my existential dread thing. Not only because of the work thing, because I'm not allowed to have an opinion on who I work for and state it publicly, because I probably would literally get fired for telling you things which I don't see why shouldn't be public, but also political views and things, stating political views. Somebody said to me at work today, there is a guy that works at another one of the stations, and collectively the guys at this station, this is quite a large place, this in this office where they work, like they're in like, I don't know, the waiting room, the mess room, or wherever it is these guys take their break. There was a group of them, I think they were sitting around for lunch or something, and one of them mentioned that he voted, I keep buffering, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that, he voted to leave England. He did Brexit. If you're not from this country, it makes no sense, but we're leaving some European Union, or we voted for it umpteen years ago, it's not happening. And basically, because of that, he got branded racist, regardless of his views, regardless of why he felt that way, of his opinion, or any entitlement to, like, he's a person, he has opinion. He got branded by the rest of the guys there as a racist because he's got this opinion. Now he takes a lot of flack for it, which I think is very unfair, because he's entitled to his opinion, regardless of what it is or why he's made it. I don't see why he should be denied an opinion. It'd be different if he went, I voted this way because hailed Hitler or something ridiculous and stupid. But why shouldn't the guy be entitled to want to do that? I'm not saying it's right, but it's definitely wrong if that's his view and that's what he wants to do. But as a person, he should be able to make that assumption on his own and come to his own conclusions. I mean, in a way, if that was his conclusion, isn't he validated by straight away being branded something which he's not even had a chance to explain himself on? You straight away, like, it goes back to like persecution of like homosexuals and things. Like, somebody comes out as gay, once upon a time they probably would have been beaten up in England for it, and probably are in many other places in the world. I expect a lot of persecution towards gay people happens still in certain places. We see it in the news, so we know it does happen. But well, they shouldn't be persecuted. That's their life choices. Why should people be persecuted for their life choices without even any explanation for it? Again, not saying it's right or wrong. It doesn't bother me if somebody's homosexual. I can understand it would bother somebody else, and it would probably bother me if a bloke came on to me because I'm not homosexual. But you know, that's down to them. If they find me attractive, fine. I mean, I wouldn't say I was an attractive bloke. Girlfriend likes me apparently. That's probably a good thing. But I wouldn't persecute them for it. Sorry, I think my microphone might be pinking. I moved the cable the other day, so it's probably bouncing all over the place and making horrible noises. But yeah, stuff like that worries me. Stuff like, we're in England, we're very, probably in other places, but we seem to be very cagey about what we earn, because we're taught as we grow up that people that earn more money have more power, so they're more influential, so they're better people, apparently. And that's not true, is it, really? It's straight up not true. I mean, if anything, people that have more money and more power tend to be arseholes on the majority. But we don't discuss money. We're very closed off about what we earn, because we believe that if we come out and say what we earn and it's less than somebody else, they're better than us because they're earning more money. Why is that a thing? If anything, alright, you might be worse off than your mate who's earning more money than you, but surely that should drive you to better yourself, to try and get a better job, to try and improve your circumstances, to fight for your rights and ask for a pay rise, demand a pay rise. You know, go into your boss's office, slam on the desk and say, you know, inflation's gone up 5% this year, my food's costing me more, my gas is costing me more, my electric's costing me more, the fuel I put in my vehicle's costing me more, it's costing me more to have a vehicle, it's costing me more to pay my rent, to pay my mortgage. Oh, shut up, I'm not playing Satisfactory, you know there's no new stuff in it. But like, so surely you should get some sort of cost of living wage improve, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, it consistently doesn't happen. But why should we, you know, I believe part of the reason why we don't talk about that stuff is we've been conditioned to do it. So, and again, this goes in with my existential dread thing, and it's like a social existential dread, and it's like I honestly fear for my future personally with what I see going on around me in society and things, and what I see going on around me with the way people interact with each other. And like, there's things you've got going on over in Paris with riots constantly because they don't like their government. Just fucking overthrow the government if it's that bad. I'll be surprised if England doesn't do it sooner or later, the rate we're going, because our politicians don't pay any sort of attention to what we vote, regardless of it one way or another. I mean, personally, I couldn't care whether we actually left or stayed in the European Union, because I don't think it really makes any difference at this point. Once upon a time, I believe we should never have joined. Once we're in there, we should never have left. But they're now going to make an example of us. You just got to look at all the failing countries in Europe, and then look at the European Union and go, what are you doing about it? Bugger all. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, our politicians don't do what they say they're going to do. They don't live in the same world as the rest of us. I can get told off. Can I? You're going to tell me off, are you, Cammy? Cammy's telling me off, I can get told off for using the wrong category. I mean, according to my OBS, it says game development on my OBS. Now, if Twitch hasn't picked that up, they can suck my balls. You could also suck my balls if you like, but as I said earlier, I'm not a gay man, so it's not going to happen. But yeah, like, politicians suck. But like on a wider scale, our government, as crap as it is, if we do end up with some sort of revolution, we're going to end up with complete and utter anarchy, as we've had several times in the country, same as we have in other places. But I believe it was 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 years ago, there was a guy shot in London. Supposedly he had a gun on him. Apparently there were reports he didn't. I know probably more than a lot of people about it, and I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of it, whether I think it should have been a shot or not. If you've got a gun, you're kind of asking for it to a certain extent, but it doesn't mean you should actually be murdered for it. Long and short of it was, it started off a bunch of riots, and it turned out the police force, there wasn't enough of them to actually deal with it. And lo and behold, the riots spread to everywhere, and it became a case of people weren't rioting because they were actually bothered about the guy being shot. They were rioting because they wanted stuff, because they realised there wasn't enough police force. I have said it to Unreal Engine, you penis, I just told you that. Yeah, they were rioting because they just wanted to rob stuff, and it got out of hand. Eventually, it just petered out, but there just wasn't enough police officers to deal with it. I kind of know that firsthand because I was sort of in recruitment at myself around the same sort of time, and I was really worried about it. And it sort of goes to show just how easily things could get out of hand, and how quickly and nasty things progress. And that could have quite easily have gone so much worse. But going back to politicians being useless and living their own little world, there was a quite a severe terrorist attack in London a while back, very, very close to the Houses of Parliament, and the next couple of days there was armoured police, blockades, absolute ton of police all around the Houses of Parliament. So a very, very different situation for the rest of us, though. You know, we'd barely even see a police officer, mainly because there's not enough of the poor bastards, and then they've got their hands tied by so much legal rubbish, they can't even do their own jobs properly. Most of them spend more time doing paperwork and chasing around after flipping the CPS, which is the Criminal Prosecution Service, who refuse to take a lot of cases on, than they do actually getting to arrest criminals, and it's ridiculous. And again, back to my existential dread. I worry for the future and the existence of, like, not just myself, but everybody, like humanity, to me, kind of going down the drain. Yeah, I feel like I can't make my own opinion. I don't vote in elections because I don't believe that anybody actually represents me, and even if they said they would, they wouldn't, because they're all a bunch of lying bastards. And yeah, it's just kind of a bit of a miserable thing, really, and I don't like being miserable if I can help it. I really go out of my way not to moan, but I find myself doing it more and more often these days. And yeah, I think what I'm going to do now, though, is, since Cammy seems to be alive, I'm going to give him a ring and see if he actually picks up, because no doubt he'll like me rambling, because he does like to get me on some stupid topics. Let's see what he's got to say for himself. That's assuming he's not sitting in bed with his hands down his pants, which is entirely likely.
Why are you telling me and Sophie that you're going to call me?
Hello.
Hello.
Well, no, the idea is I'm going to do my usual and stick this on YouTube once I've finished having a natter, but I figured since you're there, you might like
Hello,
to join
YouTube.
me. Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet.
Be happy.
I'm obligated to say this.
I know, I honestly go, honey, she's just said that I should be happy, and I always moan about stuff. I don't like moaning. You know I don't like moaning, but I always end up doing it.
Yeah, that's
I honestly hate myself for moaning, and I go out of my way to like force myself not to moan. Like, you guys asked me how my day's been, and I really struggled to not moan. Does that make sense?
I think, yeah. Very much the same as like when I start up a call with Shadows or something, and he'll be like,
yeah,
I'll be like, how you doing today? And he'll be like, meh. He just, and that's him just acknowledging that the day wasn't good. I'm not going to tell you about it.
Yeah. I don't like moaning, because I can hear myself moaning, and I know what it's like to listen to somebody moaning all the time. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake, they're moaning again. I don't want to listen to them. Yeah, and I don't want that to be my persona to people, but sometimes it's a struggle to even fucking get out the front door in the morning, or let alone get to work. For instance, on my way to work this morning, I walked down to my local station to get on a train to go to work. Stood at the station, and there's a few people about, because it's the first train in the morning. You expect people to be going to work early, fair enough.
Yeah.
And there did this girl in front of me as the train pulls in. Stomps in front of me, like, alright, suit yourself, you can get on train. Doesn't bother me, couldn't care less. People are rude as fuck these days. So, okay, yeah. Train pulls in, she just stands there in front of the door. Everybody else is pressing the button, getting on, she just stood there, staring at it, getting stink face. Right, okay, so I leant round, I pressed the button. No, thank you. No, oh, sorry, didn't realise. Glared at me. Could have killed me with that glare. And I was just like, okay.
Oh, dear.
Alright, and that was my start to the day. Hadn't even got to work. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, really? And I can't, I can't stand myself for moaning. I really hate it. I really do. Like, this is part of the reason I try not to look at the news. Yeah? I watch news on YouTube occasionally, and there's a few content creators I follow because they actually do what I believe and give unbiased, proper news on certain topics that I'm interested in. Mostly tech news, to be entirely honest. because, as I said, I hate politics. Can't stand it. Politicians are complete and utter liars, and we need a complete government reform. But like, obviously you can't see it, but the title of this stream was Game Deving and Existential Dread.
Yeah.
And rather than the normal existential dread, which we were talking about the other day, of like, oh my god, the universe is so massive and we're just insignificant, and that kind of thing we were talking about the other day, where I was saying, like, I sound like a complete lunatic, which I probably do to most people a lot of the time. My existential dread actually stems from like the dread of not being able to form my own opinions and voice them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Like, because I know you know a few of my views, and they're a bit weird, and they're not exactly mainstream, and I'd probably be persecuted if I said them out loud to a lot of people.
Probably.
As I say, I'm trying to. Can you hear that? That's really great. That is.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, outside the door. I'm probably going to have to turn this off in a minute, because apparently we need chainsaws in my house now. Hang on, I'm going to close a window. Fucking arseholes. Yeah, you can see why I've not come home and gone to sleep today, can't you? Because apparently, you know, we need to chop down trees. What was I saying? I only got up and walked across the room. Yeah, I kind of go out of my way to make my political stance unknown on a public platform. Not because I believe it to be that extreme and weird. Everybody's got some extreme views and some weird views, and I don't know about you, but I wouldn't put myself in being like far left or far right particularly. I'd say I was probably quite a bit more authoritarian than a lot of people are. Yeah?
Ooh, excuse me, yeah.
Yeah. But again, I don't want to go into it, because I'll just take flack left, right and centre, because you can never win when you've got an opinion on politics. It doesn't matter whether you one way, the other way, in the middle, you know. You're always going to get somebody bashing your head against the wall. You're wrong, I'm right.
It's
Sniff
like
my
when
bum,
I made
you know,
the mistake of saying something to someone on Twitter. So,
oh, I've done that. I did that a little while ago. I got involved in a conversation, just literally a conversation with somebody about something, and somebody else just jumped down my throat and started giving me a ton of abuse that was completely unfounded, like, your profile's a complete joke, everything you write is hate speech, I've reported your I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? What's this got to, like, you've come in here, you're swearing at me, you're being massively rude, you've not even joined the conversation properly, and you're just spilling out abuse because you don't like my opinion. Like, get lost.
Pretty much.
Just because you're on the internet and I can't reach over and give you a slap, which is what you deserve. It was just like, what the hell? And in the end, me and the other guy just went, I'll just PM you, because I'm not getting involved with this guy. He's a nutcase. You know, he's
to be fair,
from
my brief political involvement on Twitter,
it's not worth even
about
touching.
5 minutes. They all get angry at you for having your own opinions.
Yeah. You don't agree with my worldviews, so fuck you. You're obviously a Nazi scumbag. You screw kids. You rape your mother, and you stamp on puppies because you don't agree with what I've said. And it wouldn't matter whether you loved Trump or you hated Trump, that kind of thing. Either which way, you're going to find somebody who's going to want to stab you in the eyes with a pitchfork because you exist. This is why I don't like getting involved with it. And again, this is my existential dread of stuff, is I feel like I can't have an opinion. I honestly, at the moment, it's even stemmed to, I know this sounds a little bit weird, and I know you know I don't vote, but it's even stemmed to the point of where I had this argument with the local council. I know you're aware of it, but I'm going to go through it for the sake of the video on YouTube anyway. I had this argument with the local council when I moved in. They wanted me to register to vote, and I said, okay, send me the paperwork. So they sent me the paperwork. So I filled it out and I sent it back, and they responded with, we need photographic ID evidence, either a driver's license or a passport, to prove who you are. And my response was, you must know who I am, I paid my taxes to you, you sent me the letter. And eventually they sent somebody round to my door to try and get ID off me, who I basically said, please leave. I don't want you here. You've had my ID, you know who I am. You've come to my front door and asked if I was Mr. Barry Ferguson, which is my name. Fuck it, YouTube, you can have that one. And I was like, well, you obviously know who I am then, so you've got my details.
Yeah.
So either, you know, you're gonna
you.
come and arrest me for not proving who I am, even though you know who I am because you've come to my front door, or the way I look at it, you can now leave, and if you stay here any longer, you're trespassing. Please go, basically. And I just slammed the door in the guy's face. And eventually, my polling card's turned up, so I can now go and vote. So they've obviously taken it and gone, ooh, okay. But how ridiculous is that? And honestly, I don't want to use it. Not because I don't want to vote, not because I don't believe my vote is going to count and I'm not going to be listened to and there's nobody who represents me, and even if they did, they would lie about it anyway. I don't want to vote because if I voted, it's going to be marked down somewhere that whatever I voted for is my political views, and I'm going to be judged for it either way.
Yeah.
So say I voted Labour, yeah, and the Conservative Party got in, or for some really weird reason, one of these really kind of fringe parties got in, like the Brexit Party, or like UKIP seem to be really popular, even though they're supposedly massively racist. Yeah, if they got into power, they'd go down the list and go, oh, this guy's Labour, he must be a scumbag because he's Labour. he doesn't share our political views. We'll harass him. We're going to charge him more tax. We're going to charge him more national. Yeah, that's why it's like, it's a really weird thing, and I feel a bit bonkers saying that, to be honest. But that's honestly how I feel. That's how stuff's got me feeling these days. Like, I'm worried to state my own views because I kind of feel like I've probably been taking shitloads of drugs and I've gone mental, to be honest. I'm getting to this point where I feel like I'm starting to go mad, like everybody's out to get me, conspiracy theories. But I kind of, at the same time, I feel like I've got a bit of a point, because the way you see things going in the media, people getting hounded for their opinions, yeah?
Yep.
And like, comedians getting hounded for their opinions, and they make a slightly edgy joke, and people seem to go off on one, but you've got another comedian making exactly the same sort of jokes.
Exactly the same sort of jokes, and
that's fine.
Fine.
So where's the definition? Like the whole race thing as well. That's fucking insane. And I don't know. It really bothers me. Obviously, it really bothers me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here rabbiting on about it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've got a point.
Yeah, I kind of agree to an extent. You have a point. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I honestly worried that if I went down and, I don't know, voted for the local what can we say that doesn't actually align with anything? Not alright, say there's, fuck it, say I went and actually voted for UKIP, yeah?
Yep.
And whoever got into power decided that everybody that UKIP were going to go on a list because they're clearly racists, because UKIP bad, you're not allowed to be English anymore, or sorry, you're not allowed to be British. Is it British or English? I can't remember which one we're not allowed to be anymore.
British, I think. Yeah.
You're not allowed to have the St George's Cross because it's racist. For some reason, apparently. You're not allowed to wear poppies because apparently poppies are racist, even though hundreds of people died in a war, you know, this racist thing. Yeah, I'd get stuck down on a list if I voted for those guys. And I'd be branded as bad, and that would almost be like my social profile, which seems to be a thing these days, yeah? You start getting profiled, and then people are getting, like, blacklisted off things. Eventually people are getting taken off platform, literally deplatformed, taken off platforms for this sort of stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, to me, that's so... I've realised these, you've got companies like YouTube and whatever, and it's kind of down to them, but they're circumventing, like, established laws and things. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I follow.
Yeah?
Yeah, I follow.
And it kind of bothers me. It really does. And it's not even a case of, like, I think my opinions are that wild that anybody would really be bothered. And it's not like I'm a massively...
I have met many people who are far more what I would consider extremists than you.
Oh yeah, I had I won't go into names of them, but I've got friends in Holland. I'm sure I've mentioned it at some point. Yeah.
Maybe I can't remember.
And for a little while, I used to go and visit them, and they lived quite close to Amsterdam. So in my passport, I've got quite a few Amsterdam stamps. Now, without knowing I've got friends in Amsterdam, that just looks like I like to go and smoke pot and see hookers. To be honest, that's what a lot of people just go to Amsterdam for, the red light district. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So without even digging into it, it looks like I've got a certain profile of me, doesn't it? Like you see me in the street, you've seen photos of me and stuff, and you've met me. You kind of look at me and you just kind of assume certain things, like you do with anybody, don't you?
A lot of people do. I wouldn't say I
not everybody does.
People.
Not everybody does,
a lot
but it's quite easy to assume things and quite easy to make assumptions and stuff. But you get this sort of social profiling type stuff, and like as I said, I don't know why, like because obviously you didn't have trouble with it the other day, but I'm sure. Oh, it makes me sound like I'm a loopy. Honestly, it makes me feel like I'm a loopy as well. Like stuff like Twitter and YouTube and things. And when I search stuff through my profiles on YouTube and Twitter, it comes up entirely differently if I log out. I know it changes compared to what you usually search for. But there are some things on my Twitter which I cannot find unless I log out. And there's some stuff on my YouTube which just does not come up at all unless I'm logged out. I can type in a certain creator's name and not find anything by them. Yeah. And it's not like I've set myself to be 12 and I'm only seeing the PG YouTube. It's... yeah... and it just makes me wonder whether somebody's fucking around with stuff. And I don't like saying that kind of thing because I absolutely hate people with conspiracy theories. Like, to the point I walk away from them because it's like, you're mental. I can't be dealing with this. Like, you get these people that talk about governments having... hang on, what I'm doing. I want to do that. No. Yeah, they talk about governments having... like, oh yeah, governments for years have had the ability to make sustainable energy and sustainable power, and like all this, you know, these people that make YouTube videos of an engine that's powered by water, yeah, and it's clearly rubbish, but you've got all these stoners on it going, oh yeah, governments have had this for years, and I made one, and they took it away from me and put me in jail, and you're like, you've never been anywhere near a jail, mate, you're mad. But I feel a bit like that when I say these kind of things. But the last few years, I kind of struggle to not feel like that at the same time. That's the worrying bit. Yeah,
I think I kind of agree, to be fair.
And I think I find it kind of even more worrying that I've got you agreeing with me, because nobody should fucking agree with me on anything. You've got to agree with that bit.
Hey man, I must be loopy too.
People starting to agree with me on stuff like that. It's really worrying, but it is... for me, it is an existential dread. It really is. It really, really bothers me. I've only got a left wing and not a right one. That's a bit not good. Oh dear, what have I done? Okay. And I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing on here properly either, so I've probably fucked something up.
That's fine. Shit happens.
No, just
that's game dev.
Hours of bug finding. I don't know if you saw my Twitter thing. So see if I can put it up on the screen because it's kind of amusing. I suppose anybody sees my Twitter thing. Where are we? I'm a little derpy man. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I've got my shit down when game deving. Other times I feel like this. Instagram, when you try to help but you have no idea what you're doing. That's how I feel. I'm a golden retriever. You're rolling dice. Here's a tennis ball. That's exactly how I feel sometimes. 100% how I feel sometimes. Just, yeah, tennis ball. Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man.
Sophie, not ignoring chat.
I probably am ignoring chat because I had another screen open. He's ignoring chat now. You're both loopy. He doesn't like hookers. Well, I mean, if you've got to pay for it, you're probably doing something wrong, aren't you, really? And relatively speaking, a if you're going to go down that fussy route, you could say that everybody's a hooker because you all get socially involved with each other and do things for each other for sex. Because essentially that's the nth degree, isn't it? We're all keyed up to reproduce.
Just because there's no monetary exchange, it doesn't mean.
Well, you say there's no monetary exchange. I just spent £200 on somebody's birthday present, so I think that's a bit of a monetary exchange, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to be fair, I got quite a nice birthday present when it was my birthday, so I think you'll find we're all fucking hookers for the money. Some people get houses built for them and they have children. If you're having children, it's sort of your own fault. I've dodged that bullet many times, but same shit, different day. If anything, hookers have got it down right because they get fucking paid. They get properly paid.
They literally get paid.
And some people just like a bag of chips, don't they, honey? Sorry, that's mean, but she's probably sitting there going, "Yeah, I know what she's like." Bless her. Yeah. All right, big bag of chips.
Big bag of chips. Oof.
But yeah.
Give me a bottle of rum. There you go.
There you go. Bottle of rum. She's getting up in the world. Bottle of rum, mate. It's expensive.
Yeah.
A bottle of rum's not cheap, is it? See?
Especially when it's Morgan's or Kraken.
Exactly. Bloody expensive women's is. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm right to be worried about that stuff or what. I really don't.
To be fair, if I'm completely honest, like being worried about things like this are actually kind of important things, because they're things beyond your control, but they hugely affect you in life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, arguably, a lot of people would say if you're not worried about these sorts of things, there must be something wrong with you. Like,
I think it's the extent that it bothers me these days. Does that? Yeah, I'm much more aware of it. I'm much more bothered than I used to be. I don't know whether that means I've grown up, or I should be more worried about it, or it's become more of an issue recently. I think it has become more of an issue. Yeah, definitely over the last couple of years it's become more of an issue, that sort of thing. It's kind of a negging hell. Where have I done that? That's done.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's getting. I'm trying to tidy it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get it a bit neater. It's not really working because I just lost what I'm doing. Yeah, it's become more of an issue. It's becoming more of an issue because of, well, we've had like fucking swatting and doxing and things like that are getting worse. Yeah, you've literally got people being killed by somebody phoning the police on somebody on the internet and getting them murdered. Like, the fuck is wrong with you people? Why would you even do that? And you wouldn't do it face to face with somebody, would you? No
way. No fucking way.
You and me wouldn't, but you have got people that would do it face to face. There was something I found on Instagram I was flicking through the other day, and there was some woman in America who was basically being a massive cunt on a bus. Some old guy just said, do you mind keeping it down and not swearing? There's women and children on the bus. There's no need to act like that. Yeah. When he was getting off the bus, this guy was in his 70s. She shoved him off the bus, face first. Nobody did anything. Not even the bus driver. Fair enough. A lot of the other people on the bus were older people, and some of them had kids. But nobody did anything. The bus driver just drove off. Yeah. The guy died from a head injury just because he tried to do the decent thing. Alright, they've caught this person, but the bloke's still dead. Alright, she might go to prison, but the bloke's still dead.
Yeah,
nobody did fucking anything. They just left him face down on the pavement.
That's
somebody's grandfather, that's somebody's dad, that's somebody's brother, somebody's husband. And, alright, she's going to go to prison, whatever, but doesn't bring the bloke back, does it?
No, it doesn't bring any justice for the people that have lost family members.
Not at all. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But that's what people are like. And I mean, if that had opened over here, probably wouldn't even find them.
No. That's actually a really sad thing to know as well.
It is. It really is. I mean, especially since I've got friends in the police, so I hear some of the stories firsthand sometimes on the odd occasion. Because a lot of them are like me and they don't like moaning, so they tend to avoid stuff. But obviously we get chatting about things. And yeah, it's just, it really is a sorry state of affairs. And it's just getting worse. And I don't know. I really don't know, man. It really bothers me. It really bothers me. I think I'm just getting soft. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just getting to be a soft, silly bastard.
Hey man, there's nothing.
And there's just Honey just talking about price of rum in chat. I love it.
Yeah.
I think we might actually have to enact my ignorance is bliss program where somebody just smacks me in the head with a 2x4 until I get a glazed expression and smile, or I'm dead. One or the other. You know.
One of them. Oh god.
There's one of my political views which people won't like, which I'm willing to put out on the internet. I actually believe that people with mental conditions that are completely out of it and don't really understand what's going on and have to be looked after are happier because they just don't understand shit. Same as children.
Yeah.
Children up till they're probably before they're double digits, I reckon. Yeah, maybe 8 and 9 probably get into about where you start understanding shit, especially if you've had a crappy family life. But definitely younger than that. Most kids younger than that are happy all the time because they don't know any better. They don't.
Yeah,
know any
I
difference.
can't remember.
They're still running around bouncing off trees and like eating shoelaces and things. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what I was like.
Gonna say, like,
I can't remember a lot of my younger life, but what I do remember was crap because I had a bit of a crap childhood. But when I was really little, I can only assume I was happy because it doesn't bother me now. It just seems to be the way I've been wired up, and I'm wired up to moan, I reckon. But I don't know. It's yeah, fucking stupid. Oh dear, what am I doing? So many things.
Hey man, you just need to learn C++.
Yeah, probably. I can read it.
I
Alright,
actually
I just
think-
can't. I can.
Do you have those hit points in an array at all? Because I think there's actually, instead of like using that add node, I think there's actually a sum of array node or something.
No, I kind of. There's a reason I'm doing it this way.
Oh, okay.
That should be going into a map there. It's just not at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm developing it part by part. It's going to make sense when it's finished, and you'll probably be able to do it a lot better and a lot quicker in C++. But until I get to that point, it's got a couple of iterations, and the way I work, I have to do it in stages. Otherwise, I just completely fucking lose where I am. Yeah. This is why I've got this massive list of fucking all of these things going on, various different things. And they get stashed in one of these when they're finished. And the ones that are all like, not finished this yet, I'm still working on it, all live out there. And I realise I've been fucking looking at that while I've been talking to you. I might
Oh god, it's
What?
Sav.
Oh, I'm talking to a cat. What have I done?
No, I'm not talking to a cat. It's Sav.
Sav? Oh shit, Sav!
Savage.
Eating
Jesus
shoelaces. Strawberry ones. I mean, when I was 5 years old, I was probably eating anything I could put in my mouth, mate.
You know
I remember
what?
being told I ate snails at one point.
I think if someone gave me a pack of fucking strawberry laces, I'd be really fucking happy.
I'd be happy with it. I might actually have to go to the shop in a minute and get some strawberry
Oh
laces.
no, Sophie, when you go to the shop, can you get some strawberry laces?
Oh, no. See, this is the only reason I want to move in with Lou, is so I've got a slave to send out for things. But yeah, hi Sav. I haven't seen you in ages, mate, but I realise I've not really made any videos or done shit. Fucking people banging outside again. But hello. This is my really depressing, weird stream because Derp has basically gone away for a year, started to learn game dev and lost the plot. I think that's what's happened, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've lost the plot. Soon I'm just going to be this lonely old man with really long fingernails, sitting in my own piss, dribbling. That's usually a Saturday night, isn't it? But there you go.
Oh dear.
Look, I added things, Cammy. Look, I've added.
You did?
This.
Ooh.
You can now go.
Oh, you okay? The menu looks good, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice if I had different icons for everything. Oh, I'm going to add a bit to this, but yeah, you can go tubular headers. Ooh, bit more power.
I think that was me last night.
High compulsion pistons, bit more power. That was you last night. What, being a lonely old man with long fingernails, dribbling and sitting in your own piss? That's a bit worrying, honey. You've not been around, Sav. That's all right, mate. You've not missed anything then.
No, nothing new's happened. I still haven't started hosting servers again.
I've not done it. Well, I say I've not done a lot. I kind of have done a lot, but I haven't.
You've done a lot, dude.
I suppose I have.
You've
learned
done
a
a
whole
lot
thing.
in this. Yeah, you've learned a whole thing. You've learned how to make video games. That's like a big thing.
Yeah, well, I've almost
You've learned how to
entirely
make
made my
things
own
that
video game.
entertain people, to entertain yourself.
Yeah, that's entirely what I've done. I have just amused myself for the last year. Doing things like this, because that amuses me. And this is probably going to be really loud on the video, but hey, why the fuck not? Just amuse myself. What did you do last year, Derp? Well, I built a car I can smash up and drive around and bounce off things. Sometimes I break the game too. But yeah, fuck it. I mean, I earned some money and made my computer better. That was nice. Well, it lasted.
Yeah.
And at some point, hopefully, somebody will pay me to make my own game.
Probably be yourself paying you.
Hey, it works. It's better than me paying somebody else.
Yes, true.
As long as at some point there's some money going in my pocket, that's the main thing.
That's the thing. My CPU's been paid for now. My new one, brand new box this time.
But yeah, this is what I've been up to in the past year. I got to this point where I've done this all by myself. Kind of cool.
So it was out of its.
Keeping yourself entertained, that is always a win. It is indeed, mate. Yeah, I mean, I've always been one for sandbox games and stuff, and as I keep saying to people, this is like the ultimate sandbox to me.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
was just going to say, I taught you about the ultimate sandbox.
it is, yeah. Well, this is why I kind of avoided doing it for so long, because I know what I'm like. I completely rabbit hole down things. This is why I got so involved in doing the YouTube for such a long time. I think it was 3 years I did that. I know I didn't do it all on my Derpzilla account. I started off as a Minecraft YouTuber, which I still refuse to show people that account because it's kind of embarrassing. You're going to pay me to eat my laces? I mean, okay, that'll work.
Hey, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. I mean, technically the game's free to play, but you know, I'll have to hook you up with a link, Savage, because you can actually download it at the moment and have a little play. And I am updating it quite regularly too, so you'll get to see new stuff. Not that it's that great or very interesting, and lots don't work. But hey, this is me. What do you expect? But Pammy's done a good job of getting me involved in doing stupid things, which waste my time, and keeping me off the streets and out of trouble. Probably out of jail as well, knowing me, because I would have murdered a child by now or something. I expect.
You
Not
just
because
made
I
me
like murdering
think about
children. That's
myself.
true. But because they piss me off. There's a quote. Yeah. But yeah, that's good that you feel good about yourself. I'm glad that I make you feel useful.
I have purpose.
A purpose. Yeah.
You've just ended my existential crisis. My purpose is to help Derp.
Yeah.
This is my purpose.
Mate, if that's your purpose, you've got more problems than I have.
Oh dear.
To be entirely honest, as much as I get down about my game deving sometimes, it's actually helped me quite a lot with my my depression and shit, to be honest. Being able to sit down and create. Like,
Yeah, you know, I would say, like, after 8 years of hosting game servers, like, that just made me more and more stressed out and depressed.
Yeah.
Because I was just doing it and there was no one showing me much gratification for it. Like, I wasn't getting any gratification for it,
I
basically.
don't really need any gratification. Don't get me wrong, it's great when I show you something and you go, oh, that looks really good. How's that work? How have you done that? And you look at it and you go, fucking hell, Derp, that's an awful way of doing it. And I go, well, at least I know, but it works. It looks good, so that was nice. But for me, it's relaxing. I can sit down and do this for hours. And usually, when I have a bad patch, your purpose is to help Derp not murder children. I mean, can't we just murder a few? Just the really annoying ones.
Brilliant.
You know, cut the population down a bit. No, like when I have a little bad spot and I do my thing of like I've got 3 days off and I don't go outside and I literally just sit in my freaking pajamas for 3 days and don't barely talk to anybody. I sit in game dev and I'm actually really productive usually, and it's like it's a nice way to turn like a bad patch into a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty much what happened. It's
Yeah, for the seven or 8 odd years that I ran servers, it was good. It was fun to begin with, and then like people element got involved.
Yeah, the people element's always
people like Sav used to stress me out all the time, asking admin. I'm joking, Sav. No, it was good. It was fun. There were people that showed great appreciation for what I did for them in terms of like giving them somewhere to play.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Thank you, Sav. Yeah, and then but the majority of the people in the whole server sort of setup, I guess I'm going to call it that, because you can't really call it server industry because it's not an industry really. It's just providing entertainment via online servers. Like that, most of the people that are play. Oh god,
I can't help it. You said it.
Most of the people, yeah, I said it. Most of the people playing on the servers are unappreciative fucks. They're like, well, you just changed this thing, and I don't like the fact that you just changed this thing because that thing was a thing that I was using to do another thing, and everyone else is like, yeah, well, we did a poll for this. It was on the website, and. It's like the unfortunate thing is like as appreciative a lot of people were, the unappreciative people spoke louder.
Oh, they always do. It kind of goes in with what I was saying about just having your opinion, because you always get shouted down by somebody who doesn't like it.
Yep.
And it's just like, really, can't I just state what I want to state and have a constructive conversation? Because I love having a constructive conversation with people that have got opposing views and different understandings of things, and fuck off. Obviously people can't see this, but hang on, can I drag this across slightly and just tuck that in there? No, it's not going to work because I'm going to be on the other screen. That's a shame. Sav's just shouted fuck off in chat, but hey, go for it, Sav. I love talking to people with different opinions and different understandings of things, because it helps me improve my understanding of stuff. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily change my views, but it helps me understand why people have got other views. It helps me understand other people's views. And to me, understanding other people's point of views on things is much more valuable than just upright opposition, because then you can actually have some sort of constructive conversation. And say for some reason something weird happened and you and me ended up living together. Yeah?
That's a weird concept.
It'd have to be a really weird thing.
Yes,
something strange happened and you and me lived together. And we had 3 rooms, 2 bedrooms and the living room, which had, I don't know, maybe it was big enough to put sofa, chairs, and like either end of the room we could have our computer desk with all our shit. Dev house. Yeah, okay. Maybe that's going to happen. But like we were like, right, okay, so we've painted our bedrooms, we've decorated the bedrooms. What should we paint the front room? And you were adamant it had to be bright red, and I was adamant it had to be bright blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than just having a wall and drawing a fucking line down the middle of the room and having a really weird looking room.
You have 2 walls that are blue, and I'll have 2 walls that are red.
Exactly. You get some sort of narrative going and speak about it and come to some sort of sensible arrangement. Yeah?
Yeah.
Rather than, oh no, we're going to have a war over it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to saw everything in the front room in half, and you can have half and I can have the other half. And then I'm going to throw it at you because your room's red and I don't like red. Yeah? But that's what we seem to get in politics. Isn't it?
Yeah.
You're wrong, I'm right, fuck you, you're a Nazi.
There's nothing you can do about it,
Yeah, and the bit that worries me even more is like we've got this whole thing of like hate crimes. You know, somebody with a different point of view, you shout at them and accuse them of being of a Nazi or whatever. And like one side is like, it seems to be a thing at the moment. Like the left side just doesn't get touched. They can do what they like, but as long as you're like I'm not sure if you call them social, like it seems to be like labour rights, but like that kind of the left sort of thing, like the what do they call them, like Antifa, Anti-far right, yeah, and like the Rainbow Warriors and the social justice kind of PC type people. Like, you can't say that because that's not politically correct. You're not allowed to make that joke because that's politically correct. You know, kind of the like super neo-Nazi feminist type people. They don't seem to be like, they're like untouchable. Yeah, they can do what they like to the other side. There's been reports of them turning up and like starting mass fights and things with far right groups. And I'm not saying it's entirely a bad thing, because these guys need to be opposed, but the left don't get touched for it. Whereas if it was the other way round, it's like the whole stupid thing we've got with race. Whereas like a white guy would go and kill a bunch of black people, and they go, "Oh, he's got mental health issues." Yeah.
Yep.
Do you see where I'm coming from? Like that seems to be a thing in America. Like some bloke goes on a rampage and kills a bunch of people, and he's like, he's got mental health issues. Whereas if it was like the other way round and it was a black guy, it's like, oh, it's a race war, or that sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm following.
And it's like, why is it one way for one group of people and one way for another group of people? Because you're both basically doing the same thing. You're both encouraging violence and causing violence, and just yeah. And what happened? Saying that, Sav, Sav just said mix the two colours. What happens if you mix red and blue? Do you get purple, don't you?
Yeah, purple.
I'm down with that. We can have a purple room.
Yeah,
purple Derp room. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That's a sensible discussion rather than what I was suggesting, cutting everything in half and using it as weaponry. But that seems to be where we're at with like politics and just everything. Everything seems to be a war zone. And I think what bothers me even more is, as I was reciting war stories to you the other day, I'm very aware of what happens in war and the atrocities and things, and maybe not our generation, but the generation behind us, like basically our children, our direct generation behind us, they're not. They see it on the news. That's all they see, and the news only shows you what the news wants you to see, which is unfortunately owned by politicians to a mass extent. So you only ever get shown what you going to be shown. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So certain things are always left out, and obviously war's always written by the winner. But that sort of thing really bothers me. It really does bother me, and I'm worried that we're going to end up with another war because of it. And we all know it's not going to be nice if that happens. We're going to end up walking around in Fallout 76.
Yeah. We're no longer in the times of when your big metal box is bigger than my big metal box.
Yeah.
Therefore, your metal box wins.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's I'm going to launch a missile. You won't even see me, and there goes half a city of people that aren't involved whatsoever. It's not going to be good if that happens. And the stupid thing is, the people that initiate it won't even be anywhere near any of it. They won't even be involved. They won't. They might be the ones pulling the trigger, but they won't be touched by it. It'll be everybody else who suffers. And I'm really dreading if that happens, because it will literally be just anarchy. It'll be absolute anarchy. You'll be fighting fucking people on the streets for the stray dogs, so you've got something to eat.
And that doesn't bear thinking about.
It doesn't, but it worries me. It really does, dude. It's yeah. It's not good. Really not good, mate. Oh, I can't even do my deving stuff. I've got all sorts of other stupid shit in my head. I've got umpteen pages of gubbins in front of me I'm supposed to be doing. I can't even think of where to start. Yeah, it's not good though. It's really not a good thing. And like I said, I don't like moaning about this stuff. I really try not to. But this is kind of the point of this little stream, was for me to get some crap out of my noggin. And I've been going on for about an hour now, believe it or not. I am that good at rambling shit.
I mean, it's not like you started your own show after it or anything.
What? That Rambles.
That's Rambles.
I don't get why this thing says it's still satisfactory, because honestly, on my thing it says Derp Rambles, Existential
Did you click
Dread
the
Rambling.
apply button? There's an apply button in OBS.
You mean the one that says update information, which I've just pressed off screen?
Yeah.
You fucking
Yeah.
idiot, Derp.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. It should update now.
Yeah, you have to make sure you press the
I'm
update button.
old. Leave me alone.
I'll forgive you.
Okay, that's good then.
There we go. Derp Rambles, Existential Dread Rambling while I work.
I mean, we could go further into the existential dread. Which the strange thing is, I've said this to you, but I'm going to say it for the sake of the video and stream. The strange thing is, I don't have what people know as the usual existential dread, which is like, oh my god, I'm insignificant. I'm this tiny little dot in time and space, and I can't possibly comprehend how big it all is. It doesn't bother me in the least, because I seem to have just accepted it. I don't know how I've managed to do that, but I just... Okay, yeah. That tends to be what people normally understand as existential dread, I think.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. The usual existential dread or crisis is like questioning your existence.
Everything's so
and purpose.
big. Yeah, everything's
Yeah.
so big. What do I mean? You know, what? Yeah, what's my purpose? Why am I here? Who made me? Where did we come from? That kind of thing. I kind of like.
Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
We could have appeared a number of different ways, sort of thing.
Oh, we're getting onto this conversation.
And
again,
any of them would be like. Well, which conversation do you mean? Like.
Well, we were talking about all the possibilities of how life formed on Earth. You know,
Yeah.
that one. If that's the one we're talking about, then that was a rabbit hole.
Close.
We went from
Dear.
Darwin's theory,
Yeah.
obviously, which is the scientifically accepted
Yeah.
method, and then we have like, well, if there's life on Earth, why
have we not seen it anywhere else?
Yeah, what goes to say there isn't life elsewhere?
Well, it's a
and what
case
goes
of
to
why
say-
haven't we seen it anywhere else? Or
Yeah. And what goes to say these life forms aren't far more advanced not really intelligent is what I'm coming from.
I mean,
Obviously, intelligence comes into another thing.
that goes into the whole thing of like God. Like there could be shit we can't even see or can't even perceive that's having an effect on things, and like that could just be
extraterrestrial beings of some form.
that could just be like aliens and that could be angels and demons and stuff. That could be where that's come from. I personally don't think it is. I think that's just a case of it's like stories over time have developed, and it becomes a control mechanism because you get more and more people believing in these stories, and then you get what happened with like a lot of the Catholic Church, where it's just become a control mechanism for the people, because you get these people believing in this, and it's like then you need to give us money so we can perform this rite and cleanse your soul so you go to heaven when you die, with no proof whatsoever. But this book says so, and this book's really old, so it must be true. Yeah. Okie dokie then. It's that sort of thing.
For those of you that believe in Jesus, the Bible, everything holy, we're not saying your opinions and views are wrong. We're just saying we don't necessarily believe they are.
I'm not saying that at
Whatever,
all, because I'm not going to get into the political thing.
I'm not getting into the.
This isn't that
thing. I'm just
stream.
sort of like trying, yeah, true. This is the stream where we don't have.
I'm going to say that for another time. Yeah, I'm going to say political views and religious things, and because I could go into that kind of thing.
God, yeah.
I said I don't. I go
Simply
out of my
we're
way
men
to
of
avoid that kind of
science.
thing. Yeah. But at the same time, I like having a discussion about that shit. So
Yeah,
this
as
is
well.
what it is, isn't it?
Oh, probably gonna hear horrible noises.
That's right. What's
Yeah.
no amount of money can cleanse myself.
Cleanse myself.
Sav agrees there's probably life in other places. Yeah, I don't see
Yeah.
why there wouldn't be life in other
Yeah,
places.
it would be very naive of us to believe that we are the only intelligent life forms in the universe.
I'd be amazed if there wasn't. Chances are it's probably so bloody far away we're never going to see it.
Yeah.
And even
I mean,
if we
they
did
could-
see it, by the time we get there, the way the universe is so bloody large, it might even be gone, or it could be a case of life's there at this precise moment, and we just don't see it because the light we're seeing now from that distant star or those distant planets is that old that it's not even developed yet. So it could be a case of, I mean, perhaps not Alpha Centauri, but some of the other places we found that look like they could support life, there could actually be life there now, but because we're seeing the light from, say, 35,000 years ago, there isn't anything at that time. Like I said to you the other day, the radio signals that are coming out of Earth, the first signals that we produced that we know full well went out and were, to us, understandable, are signals from Hitler, unfortunately. And that's only just reached the closest stars to us. So what's to say that another intelligent species that is doing the same sort of thing is not in the same sort of position where their signals haven't even just got anywhere close enough to reach anybody yet? So even if there was somebody there listening, they probably wouldn't know about it. I mean, you go all the way down to
see, that's a thing, Sav. Like, even if they are microorganisms, yes, it's still life. But like, I think it would still be kind of naive
haven't we got
to think
evidence
it's
that
just...
there's been microbes and things on asteroids?
Yeah. Well, they found that thing called, was it called gorilla poo on? Yes, I know. It was on Mars, wasn't it?
Was it?
That's what they were calling it. I think they were calling it gorilla poo or something.
I thought there were like
Something
some
like
sort
that.
of microbes we'd found somewhere that was proof that there'd been life on other places. I'm sure there was. Gorilla poo. I like that. I don't know, why would it be?
It was
gorilla poo?
it was like a microorganism cluster of some kind.
Right. That's kind of
And
interesting.
yeah,
Even microorganisms are still life, Sav. Life's life. It's proof that something exists. That's the thing, isn't it? It's just some sort of proof that something exists.
Yeah. Like I just think it's completely impossible to believe that any like the only living organisms outside of planet Earth are just, you know, microorganisms. I think there is a planet out there somewhere, maybe hundreds of planets out there somewhere that have very, you know, intelligent life forms on it.
Probably a lot smarter than us, and it wouldn't be difficult. But
Yeah,
even if they're not smarter than us, you know,
yeah.
I think the problem is the sheer distances involved between things. Yeah, like we would have to have a major technological advance to be able to shorten those distances to make space exploration maybe not worthwhile, but to make it more understandable to people. Yeah. You start talking about arbitrary units and light years and things, and people get a bit confused and glaze over and don't quite know what you're on about, and sort of then it just becomes a belief thing. Yeah, like the whole God thing. It just becomes down to what people believe, because it's essentially just theoretical, like the whole black hole theory. You know, black holes, to some people, they believe that they're a route to another place. Some people, like myself, believe that it's just a gravity well and you just get squashed.
There will be a world out there where Derp's the dev and Cammy's the server.
What? Oh God!
See,
you mean like
a
a Borg world where we're all computers and I'm the one programming? That's going to be a fucking derpy world, isn't it? Blimey!
Oh.
Can you imagine?
See, that was another thing we spoke about, wasn't it? Like alternate timelines, universes.
Yeah. I mean,
we haven't proved the existence of those just
there's
yet.
no
That's
reason
could be on the opposite side of a black hole.
You couldn't even be like, you could go to the extent of saying like there isn't actually anything out there because this is literally just a simulation, which is why the distances are so vast, because it's set up that way so we can't get to any of this shit that we can see because it's not actually real.
Yeah.
Maybe we're all in the Matrix, where armor works like it.
Oh God.
It does work, just not very well.
Oh, please, I'm getting PTSD. Stop.
PTSD, post-traumatic armor syndrome. That's PTSA, isn't it?
PTAS.
PTAS.
Oh.
God's a dev. Yeah, God could well be a dev. This might be a massive simulation for some reason, but you know. One thing I always quite liked. Have you guys seen the Men in Black films?
Yeah.
There's a bit in that where the cat's got this thing on his necklace.
Orion.
And it's like it's on the galaxy's on Orion's belt, and it's a
Galaxy's
marble
Orion's belt, yeah.
with the galaxy in a marble, and it's just a tiny little galaxy. And then at the end of the film, it zooms out from the galaxy, zooms out from Earth all the way out to the galaxy, and our galaxy or our universe is just inside a marble, and there's aliens playing with marble.
An alien plays marbles.
I fucking love that analogy.
That is brilliant. Yeah,
I thought that was absolutely
that could
fantastic.
Very well be true.
It could be something like that, couldn't it? It could be like our universe is like a pocket universe, which leads on to the multi-universe thing, because there could be loads of pocket universes, because supposedly it's all expanded from somewhere. So, you know, you get to the point again where it's like, what do you believe? Because it's really almost impossible to tell what's actually happened. There's certain scientific evidence for things like the Big Bang and the expansion and things, because everything's always constantly moving apart from each other. But then you've also got the things like dark matter. Supposedly there's something that holds everything together to a certain extent, and it's not gravity. But they can't quantify it yet. Yeah? There's some sort of, maybe it's a power, maybe it's something else. It's like everything's just sort of hanging in a vacuum. And it's got weight to it, but it's all got gravity, and it's kind of, if it's moving apart, then there's some sort of velocity to it, and it's all very like hard to comprehend. But again, like I said, I've just sort of accepted all of that. That's just the way it is. We can't explain everything of it, but at some point we might be able to. And unfortunately, I'm at best going to be around for 100 years, so I'm never going to get to see a lot of it, which is a shame. But you make the best of what you've got, don't you? You know, try and enjoy life and not moan too much. That's true, isn't it? You know, I would absolutely love to become some sort of eternal and be able to view history for a couple of million years and just see what happens with shit bouncing around in the galaxy and planets evolving and stuff, like asteroids bashing into things and new planets being formed and stars being made and dying. That would be amazing. It's never going to happen though. Well, not on their plane of existence, from what I'm aware of. Maybe when I die, my soul will fucking puff off into the sky in a big cloud, and I'll become sort of interstellar god, like in the movies, and I'll be able to witness all that stuff, and it'll be really cool. But that's not really what I believe. Could happen. People don't come back from the dead though, so we've never had anybody to ask. The power of Q, yeah. The power of Q. If people don't know what Q is, well, do you know what Q is? The Q?
It rings a bell.
It's a Star Trek thing. There's this race called the Q.
Yeah.
And they're kind of godlike with their powers, but at the same time they're very childish.
Yeah.
Because they've evolved past their human bodies, and they've got all these weird powers, and they can just snap things into existence. But at the same time, I think it's on their home world or wherever it is they live, they're kind of at war with one another because they're opposing views on various different things, and it's a bit strange. And they're kind of a bit of an antagonist of Picard. It's a Next Generation thing. I'm not sure they turn up in. I think they might have turned up in like Deep Space Nine as well, but it's a bit of an odd one. But yeah, essentially like Sav said, the power of the Q, because it's like uncomprehendable. Yeah, you just can't comprehend it. You've got no idea how it works. So essentially, to the layman, it looks like magic. But just because you can't understand it doesn't mean it actually is magic. You could say it's magic. I mean, to be entirely honest, I wouldn't mind inventing a sort of technology which is really difficult to understand and literally naming the technology magic just to wind people up. It's the sort of thing I'd do.
What is it? Oh, it's magic.
No, but I mean, what is it? No, it's actually called magic.
It's magic. It's actually called magic. It's licensed.
Yeah, just to annoy people, because that would be fun.
Licensed magic.
What can you do with it? Well, what do you want to do with it?
In public.
Yeah, it'd be great. It would be fantastic. But
oh, that's Brexit.
Oh, that's what magic. Yeah, completely incomprehensible. That would be good. That would be funny, yeah. Right. Is that right? Yes. I've done bugger all game dev during this. It's going to be the worst video going. I should have played the game or something instead.
Well, I'm in the middle of what?
Stored out, new stored, max update function. Yeah, I'm not paying attention to this whatsoever, so I might play some World of Tanks instead. Let's load that up.
I see. I find like I hadn't actually been up long before I jumped into your stream. Like Sophie just came in and was like, "Derp stream's buffering." Oh, by the way, they're forcing everyone onto the new launcher.
Are they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get rid of that.
I've got the new launcher. It's just set up for World of Warships. Right, let's save my game dev stuff because I haven't been doing that properly. I can update my stream and then I'll come and join you in Tanks.
Okay.
I'll probably completely forget what I was doing in Unreal and then come back to it and start all over again because I'm stupid like that. Save. Make that go away. Make that go away. Yes. Probably. Ow. Shall I update my stream information or should I just leave it as being wrong? I'll update it.
I don't know. Depends what you define as work. And also, I have think Wargaming would have something to say about World of Tanks being made in Unreal Engine.
Ah, it should be fine. I've updated it now. There we go. We're now going with World of Tanks. World of Tanks. And I've just left my email address on there, so I'll probably get loads of porn. That'll be nice and go with the extra porn that I've already got on there. Okay, chuck me an invite, dude. Let's do some tonking.
You will have to bear with me. I'm currently running around a field like an absolute madman.
As long as you've got pants on, it's probably okay.
I do have pants on. That I do have at least
for everybody then.
I don't know. There might be some female tankers on the other team.
Oh, well, hopefully it's not cold then.
It looks quite sunny.
It's been cold here today. It's really weird. Yesterday, the sun was out and I was boiling by the time I got
roasting
home.
yesterday.
Yeah. And then on the way home today, I was kind of sad that I forgot to take my coat in.
Oh!
I think Cammy might be dead. He might be joining us sooner than he thinks.
Yeah, I'm dead. Because no one was helping me. Everyone's camping in the base.
Yeah. Campity. It's the camping game. You need to do some camping. It's nice. Oh,
okay, well that's alright. I pinged on the map to acknowledge my anger towards them.
What, multiple times for no apparent reason in various
multiple times, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
That's how communication works.
Oh my god, I love your crew.
What? Oh, what? Yeah, dice head man.
With the dice head and the tomato head.
Yeah, I wonder if I've got any new ones. I'm just going to have a random crew. It makes no sense whatsoever. What can I have? Horse's head. Oh, I can have a unicorn. Fucking yeah.
Yes.
Can I have unicorn, dude?
Oh wow.
Hooked Man Unicorn is his name. Oh yes. My awesome tank crew. Yeah, there you go. Nice. And two random women's, because you've got to have a whammon.
A whammon in your tonk.
Tankers, yes. Whammons.
I have a tank here somewhere. Here is my tank.
Oh.
No better dynamic duo.
Nope. Let's go.
Sophie! Okay.
It is
something. I request Rizzlers.
Here's a extension of the existential dread conversation. We're talking about the galaxy and all sorts of other things, and life and other stuff. And as I said, I've come to kind of come to terms with my existence is only going to be kind of infinitesimal in the grand scheme of things, unless something massively drastic happens, or I manage to clone myself and work out how to save my brain onto the internet, which is my my main goal in my aim for world domination. Is we're going to create Skynet. Actually, this is why I'm game deving. It's not because I like games at all. It's actually because I'm planning to take over the universe. In game dev, I'm gonna clone my brain onto the internet, and I'm just going to become Skynet and take over, essentially. But no, like, I don't even know what I was on about now. Just taking over the world, I guess.
Actually becomes Skynet.
Actually become Skynet. Yeah, that's the plan. This is why I've come to terms with, like, I'm not bothered about the existential part of it, because I'm just going to be everywhere, so it won't matter. That's just me being stupid. I don't really believe that. That would be awesome if I could clone my brain onto a computer. That'd be really fun, but I don't exactly know what I'd do with myself. Apart from learn everything and probably, I don't know.
Where are we going? We're going castle.
Look at a lot of porn.
Or are we going...
Derp for mayor, President Thanos. Yeah, see, this is the thing. Like,
President.
I can't help but think, like, Thanos probably wasn't all that wrong with getting rid of half of everybody. He probably got rid of the wrong half of everybody, given that he... Oh, I don't want to spoil the film for people that have not seen it.
Hey. Yeah, I haven't watched.
Yeah, I don't. I would. Like, same as I'd ruin Game of Thrones if I started battering on about that. But I could bitch livid about that. But
that's fine. I could get away with a spoiler for Game of Thrones.
No, just Sav might not have seen it, and I wouldn't want to spoil it for anybody watching this, because I know people enjoy it. I quite enjoy it still, even though there's some questionable things going on.
Oh, rush the squishy tanks.
No, this is the existential dread thing. I mean, we've had my view on it, but what's your sort of, like, does any of that kind of crap bother you? I know you sort of agree with me on some of my points.
Wait, hold up. You talking to me?
Sorry, am I making you do two things at once?
Yeah, doesn't work when I haven't been awake long.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna get an IKV, shoot me in the front and die.
Well, I'm kind of going to find a ditch to stick myself down.
Oh, I now have an AMX light tank peppering me.
Oh, that was useful. Thank you for...
Fury has died!
Just got rammed up the bum. Not the fun way either.
Oof.
Oh,
Fury managed to take two
Bounced
tanks out
solid.
with him though. That's good.
Well done.
I killed a whole two of the enemy team.
Well, between you and me, we're the only ones that killed anything on our team.
Fuck's sake, it's gonna be one of those days again. Oh.
Could well be. But, I mean, honestly, dude, you wouldn't want me as any kind of president. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a leader, even though I seem to get put in that position a lot. It's weird, isn't it? Like,
it is.
for a long time, I was like... I had the nickname Captain Baz when I used to play Battlefield, because nobody else would take a freaking command. And I've just killed 3 tanks now. Okay. And then I ended up being basically leader of my freaking clan when nobody else wanted to do it, and the clan has pretty much closed now since I left, and I don't play games with anymore. Like, they do their own things, but they don't really play together anymore. It's just stopped. That was kind of strange.
That kind of happened with XG, but for a while before
Ooh,
Wolf.
Yeah, that's not good.
You don't know Wolf, but Sav will remember Wolf, I think. Wolf pushed for a big, like, let's get together, pull our shit together sort of thing.
Put all our shit together in a basket, get our shit together.
Yeah, and play some games and stuff. Yeah, I know, Sophie. I'm sorry. We don't like talking about Wolf because we haven't heard from him in ages, and he was a very influential member of the party.
To save that VK. I was screwed down there anyway. I got 3 kills. I'm not going to knock it.
Right, statistically speaking, the KV2 on our team is the worst player.
I mean... Okay.
Oh, sorry. No,
Not
he's
too
not.
fast. Let's go get another game in. We're both dead. Let's do more stuff. But yeah, go on, you were saying.
Yeah, he was more plays predominantly with OG's clan though. Yeah, like there was a period where XG, which we were known as before TFS, we stopped playing games for a long time, and then Wolf sort of, we're playing one of those, okay, I'm gonna play a campy tank destroyer.
Okay.
He kind of like pulled us all back together a little bit, and enforced us to do stuff. So we rebranded the entire clan, and that kind of revived life back into the clan community, clan thing, majig, words, things. Community, we call it community, because that's what we more so were. But it was just very, what words am I looking for? You got the clan camo on that tank?
I might do.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Yes. Yeah. Like I went through a bit of a period where I just didn't want to do any server stuff at all, and that kind of like the community started breaking down at that point.
Mm.
And if it wasn't for Wolf, he wouldn't have like glued us back together, sort of thing. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know everybody's all sort of got all sorts of different bits and pieces from my guys, and they've all gone and done their own things. And we still chat. We've still got a Facebook chat. We talk in quite often, but very rarely all play together. Like 3 or 4 of us all get on every now and again and play something, but not like it used to be. But I kind of feel like, to an extent, it's partly the games as well, because it's very hard to find a game that everybody gets invested in quite as much.
Yeah, I kind of
for a
think
long
you
time,
and Sean gone a very different route from one another.
Well, Sean for a long time couldn't play any decent games because his computer's been knackered.
Well, yeah.
So he could only play retro stuff. And I know he's still streaming, but I don't think he'd have to. Don't get me wrong. He's a nice bloke, he's Sean, but I don't think he seems to do particularly well on the streaming. He picks up the odd follower here and there, but he's not got a massive following, so I do try and drop in every now and again.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
same
sure
here.
why, but just, I don't know. Some people just seem to do a lot better at that sort of thing than others. It's like Honey. Like Honey surpassed the pair of us within about 2 weeks.
Yeah. With 2 weeks.
And don't get me wrong, I completely think that is the girl gamer thing. But at the same time, like, just some people are just more personable, and I'm not gonna. Oh fucking! You're just gonna stick holes in me, aren't you? I'm a bit of a dick. I don't particularly care either. Right? But I'm not the most personable or sociable person, so to me, streaming's probably not the best thing for me to be doing, which is why I always prefer the videos, because I've got complete control over it. I can show people exactly what I want to show them. Yeah, I can take all the little funny bits out and personify them rather than just the boring shit and me rambling for like an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's try and get this who he does. Nope. And me just generally being shit at tanks rather than the funny things of when I roll a tank over, you know. But, to me, I still prefer. Oh, for goodness sake! Really, that
Where
bounced?
did that go?
I still prefer the YouTube
these...
thing. I still prefer the ability to only show people what I want to show them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know,
being live on Twitch is obviously far more like everything going on. They have to see it, kind of thing.
Yeah, you waltz and all sort of thing, and I can't adjust my volume and. Homely?
What's that? Homely?
Sav?
Is this something we were only just noticing like 20 minutes after you said it?
Probably.
Probably.
Apparently I'm an idiot. Don't know why I'm an idiot.
Because you're not doing something.
Yeah, that's it. I'm an idiot because somebody else is playing badly, so it's obviously my fault. Never mind, I went and stopped the UDES going and attacking the artillery. It's my fault that you died because you're a spastic. No, I can't.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to say the word spastic anymore, are you?
I can't remember what the technical what is it? Can't even remember the fucking term for it now.
I just said it twice.
That's a Death Star.
What's a Death Star?
That thing right in front of you. There you go. That thing. You can just put a shell in the back.
These guys aren't paying any attention to me whatsoever. Well, that'll be why.
Yeah.
There's a thing behind me. Oh well. Apparently I'm an idiot, so it's alright. You're dead already.
Politically correct term is what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I can't remember the politically correct term.
I think it's alright to call yourself whatever you like.
Challenged. Challenged people. Yeah, I'm yeah, it's alright to call
I'm definitely challenged.
Yep.
That's the nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Life is a challenge. Getting up every day. Getting out the front door.
Oh.
Paying the rent, god damn it. Oh. Honestly, these days, I kind of feel like I would have been better off if I was born a woman.
What a woman.
Really do. Yeah.
Oh, that kicks you out. My bad.
What?
I forgot. Can't have two artilleries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just grab something else. I don't mind. I just picked it because I kind of like playing.
No.
So.
I got that. I got the Leo. It's okay.
Alright, cool. I like this artillery. I don't know why this specific one, but I seem to like this one.
GW's pretty good, to be fair.
Well, yeah. But yeah, this day and age, just sort of. I mean, as much as I see my sister struggling with shit.
The stream is lagging.
Suck it up, buttercup. I don't fucking know, man. It's probably some shit I've got running in the background.
Suck it up, buttercup.
I haven't streamed in ages, man. I've got no idea what my bitrate is. I've got no idea what OBS is set up to. So if it's lagging, you're just gonna have to put up with it, mate. Sorry, dude. This is the point Derp's got to. Quality control is just gone. I mean, you want quality content? Go and watch PewDiePie. Subscribe to PewDiePie. Even though you're not allowed to do that anymore because he asked people not to. Yeah, seriously. I think he actually did a video saying he doesn't want people to do the subscribe to PewDiePie thing anymore because it's getting ridiculous and it's getting pulled into political things.
It is getting ridiculous, especially after that fucking shooting in New Zealand.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with PewDiePie whatsoever, but it's just that was the reason the guy did it though. He even said
completely necessary.
That's the thing. Me being me, I sat and watched it. He even said I
watched it too.
Yeah, he even said the whole reason he did that was because he knew the media would latch onto it and make a huge thing of it.
Yep.
And they did. And it's like
bit of an extreme approach to that, you know.
But no, that's the thing though. It popularised it to the point where he said to subscribe to PewDiePie. PewDiePie is evil. Blah blah all this bollocks, but he's not.
Yeah,
he was just a bloke making videos on the internet who happens to be the biggest YouTuber because he's been doing it for a long time and he's gained a lot of traction.
He was the first most popular.
It's not his fault though. It's not like he's incited people to murder each other. But
oh yeah, no, I'm not saying
the dude did it specifically because he knew full well the media would latch onto it and it would spread his horrible message of fucking being a nasty bastard. But like. At the same time, it kind of highlights the issues with the media and what I was on about earlier with the existential dread thing. It doesn't take a lot for somebody to just misconstrue what you say entirely and make their own narrative off of it and just paint you as being super evil.
I'm just waiting for one of the guys I'm moving up on the hill with to just start shooting me. And before I get TK'd, I like Artie.
Right, okay. It's a bit like saying like. I like crayons, to be honest, in this game. Doesn't seem to matter.
I like turtles.
Hence why my comments seem to be unrelated to what's being said. I'm amused, so happy. Oh well, that's alright, mate. I mean, most of what I say is unrelated to anything in existence, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's nothing personal. Anyway, Sav, you've been in my streams before. You should be entirely used to me talking about stuff completely unrelated to anything which is going on whatsoever. Pay attention. No. Don't do that here. Ooh, 152. It's shelling you. Sometimes it's just better keeping yourself completely non-related to anything relevant. Oh wow, that's not good.
Oh wow, yeah, that's not good at all. Start moving up the hill.
I mean, okay. It was a good bus ride home. I'm glad we've amused you for a bit, dude. That's yeah, that's a nice point. I think what I'm going to actually do, I'm probably just going to end the stream there because it's an hour and a half, and I'm going to download it and stick it on YouTube, and I'm probably about to be murdered in my tank. But we get to end my Existential Dread stream, which has been set up wrong and named satisfactory apparently, on a nice little good note because we made Sav smile on his bus ride home.
That is
to me,
good. Yes.
If that's like the best thing I can do today, that'll do me. I've made somebody smile. That's fine. That's the sort of news I want in my life. I made somebody smile. Good stuff. So yeah, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to go and enjoy playing tanks with Cammy. So cheers for joining the stream, Sav. thanks, honey. If you're still about, you probably fucked off to the shops, but whatever.
She is standing behind me.
All right then. Yeah, pat her on the head or something. And yeah, I'll catch you later, guys. If you've watched this on YouTube, you're probably absolutely batshit crazy by now for watching me for an hour and a half. But thanks anyway. I'll catch you later. Bye.
Right, catch you later, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Ta-ra, Sav. Bye.
Later, Sav.